Nyandarua Governor Daniel Waithaka and his County Executive Committee, CEC member Agnes Gitonga, have been sentenced to either 2 years in jail or a 1 million shilling fine each after being found guilty of irregularly awarding a 50 million Kenya shillings tender to an Israeli company, Tahal Consulting Engineers Ltd. However, the court showed leniency, citing Waithaka's advanced age of 80 years and deteriorating health. But what exactly went wrong with this tender? Who were the key players behind the deal? And why did it land the former governor in hot soup? Now we bring you an in-depth investigative report on the tender saga with the Israeli company, revealing the untold story behind this controversial deal. Ladies and gentlemen, before we dive into today's investigation, let's begin with a simple scenario, one that will help you grasp the gravity of what truly transpired in Nyandarua County. Picture this: it's the dead of night. You're at home, peacefully resting, when suddenly someone bangs on your door. Startled, you ask the obvious question: who's there? From the other side of the door, voices respond confidently. We are your neighbours from Gate C, open up. But just as you're about to turn the handle, a loud warning echoes through the night, this time from your real neighbour at Gate C. Stop! Don't open! Those people are not from our house! We don't know them! Now, in a situation like this, common sense dictates that you take a step back, lock your doors tighter, and call for help, right? But imagine if, despite this clear warning, you choose to ignore the alert, open the door wide, and let the strangers in. Then moments later, you find yourself robbed. At that point, can you really claim innocence? Can you convincingly say you were tricked? No, because you were warned, and you still chose to let them in. And that, my friends, is exactly what happened in Nyandarua County. A deal was struck. A company knocked. A warning was issued. But despite the red flags, the door was opened wide. Now let's get into the heart of this gripping investigation, the tender scandal that landed a former governor in deep trouble. The year is 2014. In the office of Nyandarua Governor Waithaka Mwangi, a crucial meeting is underway. Sitting across from him and the county executive for water and natural resources, Grace Wanjiru Gitonga, are two men. Chen Yoshanan Ofer and Albert Attius. Their claim: they represent Tahal Consulting Engineers Ltd, a well-known Israeli firm specializing in water projects. Their proposal? A multi-million shilling contract to develop a county water master plan and design Olkalu's sewage system. It was an offer that seemed too good to be true, because it was. Just as in our analogy earlier, the warning came loud and clear. The real Tahal Consulting Engineers Ltd disowned these men, categorically stating that they had no affiliation with them. A red flag? Absolutely. A reason to halt the deal? Without a doubt. But instead of slamming the brakes, Governor Mwangi and CEC Gitonga hit the accelerator. Not only did they approve the payments, but they sent the money in 2 separate installments, one after another, even though the so-called consultants had produced no work. By the time the second payment of 26.5 million Kenya shillings was processed, the first 23.8 million Kenya shillings had already been swallowed whole. And before anyone could ask questions, the fraudsters had vanished. So where did the money go? The funds were swiftly transferred via RTGS, real-time gross settlement, to a bank account in Tel Aviv, Israel. The paper trail ended there. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, launched an investigation, but there was a problem. Kenya has no legal cooperation agreement with Israel for extradition. And that's no coincidence. The fraudsters, who knew exactly what they were doing, had chosen Israel deliberately. Because under Israeli foreign policy, their citizens cannot be extradited to face trial in another country. With a few clicks of a keyboard, 50 million shillings disappeared beyond Kenya's reach, forever. As the hearings progressed, the court unearthed a damning truth. The payments were rushed. The county officials ignored procurement laws. The contract was signed despite clear warnings. Finally, on Thursday, in a highly anticipated ruling, Senior Magistrate Evans Kiego delivered the verdict. Governor Waithaka Mwangi and Grace Wanjiru Gitonga were found guilty. They knowingly approved fraudulent payments. The county government was fully aware that it was dealing with imposters. On 20th of March 2025, the much-awaited day of judgment finally arrived. Chief Magistrate Evans Kiego delivered the final verdict that would seal the fate of former Nyandarua Governor Daniel Waithaka Mwangi and his co-accused Grace Gitonga. In his ruling, Magistrate Kiego sentenced both individuals to a fine of 1 million each or a 2-year jail term in default. However, in a dramatic turn, the court showed leniency toward the 80-year-old former governor, citing his deteriorating health and advanced age. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of today's investigation. But before we wrap up, I have a question for you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Earlier, we posed a sharp analogy. If someone knowingly opens the door for a stranger after being warned by their neighbour, how do we truly understand such a person? In this case, Tahal Consulting Engineers Ltd explicitly warned the county government that the two individuals in question were not their representatives. Yet former Governor Waithaka and CEC Grace Gitonga ignored this warning and went ahead to pay a staggering 50 million shillings in 2 installments. So, let me ask you, did former Governor Waithaka and his CEC have a hidden stake in the 50 million shillings they deliberately sent to the fraudsters? Was this part of a larger, premeditated scheme? Because let's be honest, no one puts their hand inside a crocodile's mouth unless they are sure it won't bite. No rational person in broad daylight seeing a deep hole right in front of them would just jump into it knowingly. Let's engage. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, do us a small favor. Like this video. Share it with your friends, family and crew, anyone who might find this informative. Smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Once again, thank you for journeying with me to the end of this video. Your support means the world to me, and I do not take it for granted. For now, it's goodbye, and may God be with you all.